Well, first off, let me tell you that I'm just like anybody else. I suffered from anger, anxiety, depression, and guilt, just like any one of you have probably in your lifetime. At one point in my life, I had the American dream, the beautiful house, beautiful wife, a family, business, all the toys you could think of. And then things started going to a downward spiral. I ended up going through a divorce. I started to have a lot of depression, I had anger, I had anxiety, and I had a lot of guilt going on, worrying about what was going to happen in my life and my family's life. I set out to find a way possibly to keep the family together. I saw dozens of doctors and therapists, read hundreds of books. Now, I did get some good information out of some of these doctors, but most of it was really a waste of time. I'd walk in there telling my story, they'd tell me, well, we've got some things to work on, I'll see you next week. Or they wanted to put me on medication. So I almost always left there feeling like I had a bad dinner at a restaurant or something. I left there feeling empty-handed. I didn't feel like I got my money's worth. That went on for quite a while. Then I heard about this doctor named Dr. Vincent Parr in Tampa, Florida, who was helping lots of folks with some formulas that he created. So I booked a session. I couldn't wait to see this guy, to see what he had and how he was going to help me. So my first session with seeing Dr. Parr was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I went in there thinking that I had thousands of problems, and he showed me that I could take these thousands of problems and break them down into just 4. That was anger, anxiety, depression, and guilt. He goes, I see people like you every single day that think they have thousands of problems. I can take your thousands of problems and break them down into 4. Then he showed me how I was creating my depression. And I felt like I found the Holy Grail. Are you kidding me? This is how I create my depression? Why aren't they teaching this in schools? Why don't other doctors know this? Then he explained to me that he's only been practicing for about 30 years when I met him. So this is like brand new. What you're going to learn here in Dr. Parr's course is brand new to everyone. This is not something that's been out in the mainstream in the therapy at all. This is brand new. And I knew after one session with Dr. Parr that I had to get this out to the masses to help mankind. Let me give you a story about my daughter when she was 8 years old. She had some stories going on at school. She went to a religious school, and the teachers told her that if her mother and father don't go to church every day on Sunday, that they're going to go to hell. And she was really freaking out. I mean, she was really bad. Worrying about her parents going to hell. So at that point, my wife wanted to take her to see some other my wife wanted to take her to see some child therapists. And to keep peace in the house, I said, okay, let's let her go see somebody and see what they wanted, see what their therapy would be like to help her. They wanted to put her on medication immediately. Now she's 8 years old. They want to put her on medication? I was like, there's no way you're going to put my daughter on medication. There's no way. So I took her to see Dr. Parr, and after 2 sessions, she was feeling much better. And today, she still uses the 4 Blocks program. She's doing great in her life. She's a nurse. She's happily married in a great relationship. All my kids are doing great because of the 4 Blocks program. Learning how you create your emotions is really a big deal. Because this anger, anxiety, guilt, and depression, we're wired for these things. I don't know how it came about, but they come into our lives. Whenever we feel an inconvenience or something happens in our lives that we don't like, these emotions can take us over. And unless you know how you create these emotions and how to let go of them rapidly, they control you, like they did me. So if you want to get over being run by your emotions, you gotta get this course. to get control over your emotions, to have that life that I have now. I've become more successful. I've got more friends. My business is thriving like it never has before. I've been a best man in weddings 6 times. Why? Because I'm a good friend. I don't take things personally when things happen. I understand that there's going to be a lot of things that take place in my life or in other people's lives, and they're going to say things that they really don't mean. That makes a big difference when you understand how the dialogue works in everybody's mind. So I have the ability now to, when I hear people say these key words that Dr. Parr taught me, that I red flag them. When somebody says something, when I say them, I double red flag them, and I catch myself right away. So not only are you going to be learning these formulas, you're going to be learning techniques that go along with these formulas. You're also going to learn how we set ourselves up to feel these emotions. That's the beauty of this course. So what you can expect to get out of this course is that anytime you feel a tinge of anger, anxiety, guilt, or depression, you're going to be able to stop it in its tracks. It's not going to take you over. You're going to be able to go to that formula and look at what you're telling yourself and dispute it right now in real time. That's a really big deal. Now, if you're a father, it's a really big deal. So when your children are feeling these things, that you can help them. I'd say, a family that studies the 4 blocks together stays together. Why? Because now you're all on the same page as far as you know how your emotions work. The family's not blaming each other for their feelings and thoughts. This is the beauty of the 4 blocks.